Julie, are you good?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve. This is Live with Neve. Iconic musicians, comedy, and God knows what else. Hold on.
All right. Here we are. You are live with Neve. Sitting here in beautiful Highlands. I am high in the Highlands. In Highlands, excuse me. I don't want to get anybody calling in and saying, "Hey, Rick, how are you doing, man?" We always say Highlands. Some people get very sensitive in my hometown, and we want to make sure they're all cool with us. Today, we have a really fun guest on. I don't know Pam very well personally, but I've watched her play music for at least the past 6, 7 years. And in my band, we've kind of bounced around some of the same clubs, so I've always admired her work. All I can say is Pam is a great community citizen. She plays with Holiday Express. She's playing with our guest today, Rob Selden. In fact, I'm pretty much going to venture that there's not many people in the scene here in Asbury in the New York area that she hasn't played with. So, excuse me, I have been doing 3 shows a day, and my throat is a little screwed up, we'll say. So I'm going to try and behave myself and not get loud and obnoxious, which is really hard. Any rate, we're glad you're here. We got a couple people chiming in, and without further ado, let's talk to Pam McCoy, the one, the only, the very talented. Hey, Pam.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
I'm
glad we
excellent.
finally figured out all the glitches, and I got this on.
Oh, yeah. You know, this whole internet thing, when I started, I just used an iPhone and an iPad. Those shows are absolutely horrendous. I had some great interviews. I had Crystal Zevon on, but it was like my first or second show. I had a great guest, and then all hell broke loose. I didn't know that.
Oh, my God.
But, you know, we're coming up on a year now, and for everybody watching, Jewel will be on with us today, but we're having a little technical issues that she's working out, and she's down there with her smiling face in Tampa, Florida, and Pam and I are in the village of Highlands. We're about a half or a mile as far as the crow flies apart. I live right under the White House, and I know you're back over that way somewhere on the other side.
Oh, no, I
hill.
moved. I'm in
Where are
Long
you
Branch.
at?
Yeah, I live in
You're
Long
in
Branch
Long
now.
Branch. Ah, well,
Yeah, I
your
finally
house looks
sold my
lovely.
house, and I got a townhouse on the water down here. I love it.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, I love our town, and I've lived in town here
Yeah.
for 10 years. I lived in Rumson before that, and I love it here.
Yeah, I've bounced around.
Did anybody hear that boing out in Radioland? I have various sounded like somebody just went boing. What it is, I'm getting messages. Jules, I know I'm feeding back. I'm not sure what from. That's off. Is that any better? I don't know what's cooking, but at any rate, I can hear. Julie, can you speak? Can you bark like a dog?
Woof.
Wow, I hear you. Pam, do you hear her?
I do.
Wow,
But
the
you're
gods of
feeding back very-
technology are smiling on us. Thank you.
She just
Have to
said
pay an extra
feeding back.
offering. Throw a joint in the tip jar.
Neil, you're feeding back really loudly. That's all we hear is echo.
Okay, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you guys talk and
No,
make
no,
nice
don't do
for
that.
a
No.
Why, Pam doesn't bite unless provoked.
We already got acquainted on the phone for my meltdown of getting hooked up to it.
No, that's okay.
We're best
Julie,
friends
I am
now.
I'm gonna step out just for a minute and see if we can fix this echo, because there's
Okay,
nothing
cool.
on here.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive you all nuts. Rick Davis, you're out there. Thank you for watching, pal. I'm going to be right back.
Just come right back in, Neil. So Pam, so let's start with you. Tell us how you got into the business, what got you into the business, how long you've been doing what you're doing, and now, and how it relates in your life, all that stuff, your story.
Well, I always played music as a kid, and I always sang, and I was in a lot of school productions when I was in grade school and stuff. And then I started playing out in Red Bank at the old Gulliver's Pub. And I kind of lied and said I was 18, but I was only 16. So I played there one summer in between I went away to boarding school for high school. So I was only home in the summertime, which was really hard. because I had a lot of work to cover to get with people that I wanted to play music with and hang out with. And I only had a couple of months to do it each year. So I just played solo. And I did like little coffee houses and stuff. And then in my later years, and when I did turn 17 and 18, I was down in Seabright playing at Blue Water Inn, which is now Woody's, actually. It was Ichabod's. It was a bunch of different things. And that was a really fun gig. He had just opened. And I met Clarence there, actually. That's where I met my buddy Clarence Clemens. He lived right down the road. So, so I've just always played. I played in college at pubs in New Hampshire. And that's all I ever wanted to do is sing and play. So
That's great.
Where did you go to boarding school, Pam?
I went to the master's school in Dobbs Ferry, New York. It's where my mom had gone.
Okay.
And I just went. I didn't really have a choice. I was just like told what to do back then. I was 14. And I liked
had the
it.
same experience. I also went to boarding school.
Where'd you
so
go?
I went to Darrow. It's a school up in New Lebanon. Darrow.
Okay.
It's
Never
up there.
heard of that one.
It's near Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Right by Stockbridge and all that stuff.
Okay.
Nice. The land of Arlo, so to speak. I love the Berkshires. I love playing up there.
Sweet.
It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, I went to college up there, so I get you on the New Hampshire thing. But it was good. And I was close enough to the city and close enough to home that I could get home when I wanted to. So, it was good. And it was a great music community. It was a very liberal arts school.
Of course.
So, I think my parents were horrified at what I came out of there with because I was very free speaking. I don't think they were. Well, I think when my mother went there, it was like a very proper, pre-finishing school.
Yes.
And I came out like, woohoo, rock and roll. But I was in Glee Club. I did all the formal music stuff. I was a first soprano in Glee Club. I sang at St. Patrick's Cathedral. I did all that stuff. But I also had my folk music group. And it was very, very interesting development time for me, musically. It was great. It was the 70s, so,
Oh, yeah. We're lucky. We didn't even have cell phones back then. I was
Exactly.
in real trouble, gosh, at boarding school. I thought it was going to be this stodgy wear our blazer and stuff, and I just was so glad I met my roommate, and I was like, this is going to be cool. At first, I was thinking, this sucks, but he played guitar, I played drums, and
See?
I've been
That's what
playing
happens.
like you since I was a kid. I started playing at 7, and I'm almost 60, and I'm still here. For everybody watching, I know that it's screwing with my head a little bit, but there's an incredible amount of echo. Why? I
It's
don't
funny.
know.
I'm not getting anything. I don't hear at all.
Good. Well, apparently Julie and I are both I think we're talking to each other somehow. Either my thing is feeding back to her, or hers is feeding back to mine, but we're not going to worry about it because it is what it is. And you sound great, by the way. You look good too. I have your friend Ron is coming on today. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a complete Norman. I'm so sorry.
Storm and Norman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Norman's coming on later, and we can't wait to have him. I know I've seen him with you, and he is the best. It's interesting because we have a lot of friends together, but we've never hung out or anything, and I can't wait. I know the new record's coming out. And
next year. Very excited.
Have you been playing on that? You've done any tracks yet for it?
We haven't started. We're not starting until probably midsummer, maybe fall.
Okay.
He's waiting for the book to come out, and then we'll all
Yes.
get into the studio. So it's, it
Cool.
depends on this pandemic situation and everything else, what we can get done. But he's got the songs chosen, and we've been talking about ideas, and I'm sure things will change as we get closer to the date that we get in to record. But I'm really excited. I haven't recorded with him in a long time, so I'm very excited. The last one I was on was House Special, his CD House Special. Okay. And that was a very, very cool CD that we recorded at Bert Zerlip's. He's a fabulous producer in Rumson, bass player, phenomenal musician. He's a great guy. And we had Bernard Purdy on drums for that. Yeah. We had Dolores Holmes and Leon Holmes, and we had amazing, amazing musicianship. Louis Longo.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
so that was a really fun project.
I'm dying to get Bernard on the show because he's such a great, fun guy.
He is the bomb. I adore him.
He is just the best, and I've been playing and stealing every shuffle I could from him for all my life.
Right?
I still go,
I know.
wow, he is so badass.
Everybody wants to be Bernard.
Everybody. Bernard's too cool for school, man. I got to tell you, he's got a great sense of humor from what I can tell. And,
Yeah, he does. He's a sweetheart.
I'm gonna put a bug in Norm's ear. I'm like, please talk to your friends, please.
Oh, he would come if you asked him.
I know
he would totally do it.
I know he's a great
He's a
guy.
sweetheart.
Bernard's so funny. I can't wait to have him on.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. And my other dear friend Rob Paparosi's going to be on that CD with Norm too. And
okay,
I've been able to perform with him many times, and I absolutely adore that man. And his talent is just insane. It's off the charts.
Well,
really fun.
It's funny because we have all these friends. I just talked to Pat Cadano this morning.
Oh, good.
And so I'm sending regards between all of you guys.
Yeah, I was texting with him last night. Yeah, thank God he's home and he's going to be okay. I actually played at Jamien's last Saturday because he was sick, and Jamien, I don't know if he didn't know or if he just didn't tell me, but he just said Pat's under the weather. So I went and did his gig Saturday night without even knowing. I only found out he was sick 2 days ago.
Yeah, this whole year has been just brutal, and I don't want to flog the horse too much because I'm just looking forward to the new year and doing good stuff. I mean, it's been, we live in savage times, as Hunter Thompson would have put it.
That is the perfect statement.
No.
It is pretty savage.
So let's talk about your experience just off the top and get this out of the way. The two towering giants in New Jersey music, the Jokester and the Boss Man.
Oh, boy.
What's been tell us a little bit about your experiences with those guys over the years and what you have learned, or, just give us a little spin on your experiences with those guys.
Well, I don't have a lot with John. I have very strange ties to John, and we barely know each other, which is kind of cool and weird at the same time. My daughter-in-law Jillian sang with him and got to do a lot of the one-off shows with the Kings of Suburbia.
Of the Barbecue or Suburbia.
Yeah, Kings of Suburbia. So she did, she was out in Arizona opening Hard Rock cafes with him, and she did 7 or 8 shows with him. Kick ass, and she
is, by the way, great.
She's a talent that is just
really, you've done a great job. I mean, she is just.
She's not my daughter. She's my daughter-in-law.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Everybody thinks she's mine, which is, I mean, it's a great honor that people think that, but no.
Okay.
No, she's my daughter-in-law. So I always joke that I've been playing music so long, and I my backstory is. We're not in that part of the interview, but I'll go back to it. But I always say, even though I played, the Dublin House on a Wednesday night from 10 to 2 a.m. and then ran home and got my kids ready for school for years. As a single mother, I didn't screw my oldest son up too badly because he married another me. Basically,
oh, right.
She's a full-time musician, and so I was always like, I didn't mess him up. I literally used to bring my kids, to the younger ones, to my gigs,
right?
And they'd sleep on chairs at Briotti's. I did a lot. I did a lot to be able to play back then when they were young, and I was new.
I know when we were younger, we could do that. I used to play gigs from 9 to 2, have an hour off, race across town to the Bottle Club, play from 3 to 7 in Florida.
Wow.
And when you come out in the sun in Florida, you've been there, down in Key West and stuff.
Oh my God,
you come out and you're like just so. You play like me as a drummer. I was in a heavy rock band. I'd be sweaty. And when I came out, I'd feel like a vampire. And I'd go straight to the taco place that was in Tampa. And we'd pull up, and my bass player always looked like he's one of the Blues Brothers. So we'd pull up in this van full of gear, full of people. God knows who we'd picked up on the way home and dragging around. And we'd be like, hi. They'd go, good morning. Would you like your breakfast taco?
Oh,
and we both go, no, we're on a mission. We need tacos with green sauce, beef, extra jalapenos.
Oh, yeah.
And then they got used to us. The girls thought we were kind of cute, I guess. I still had long hair and was at that age where there was some kind of thing going on. And they'd be like, oh, it's those guys from the band. And they'd load us up with extra burritos. We'd go home with 2 extras, and they were so funny. But we'd be like, gut shot. You playing, drums ferociously
Yeah,
and
what you
singing
do
for
is
like,
insane.
it was like nuts. I couldn't do it now.
Playing doubles, I can't even imagine. I mean, that's
Yeah.
exertion, man.
It is, and it's old, and I'm glad I don't have to do it much anymore. It's pretty
I hear
easy.
you.
So, let's
So
talk
my
about
Bruce
the
thing,
boss.
my Bruce, yeah. So I met Bruce back in the 70s. As I say, I was playing at the Blue Water Inn, which was not open all that long, but it was a cool little place that opened in 75, summer of
Right.
75 in Seabright. And it's now Woody's.
Right.
It became Ichabod's after Blue Water Inn. It was a bunch of different things. It was Millie's back in the day. But anyway, Clarence lived down the street, and he wandered in one night and sat in a corner, and I didn't know, who he was then. And after my set, he came up and started talking to me. He's like, I like your sound and this and that. And we sat down and he said, you want to have a drink? And I sat down and had a drink with him. And it turns out that my oldest childhood friend was starting to date him. So we connected dots. And all of a sudden, I'm like hanging out at his Seabright apartment and parties and backstage passes to the Basie for Bruce. And I shamefully barely had heard his music by 75. I just, I was into what I was singing and following all, the Joni Mitchell and Carly Simon and Carole King.
I love both of those ladies.
I wasn't into Bruce Springsteen then, but I fast became a big fan. And I got to see a lot of shows. And Clarence and I remained friends for many years. Bruce, I just didn't have, I didn't have much contact with. Other than just saying hey at a show.
Right.
But I've seen him a million times. And actually the last time I got to see Clarence was for the Rising sound or their run through dress rehearsal at the Paramount. And right after 9/11.
Right, I remember very well.
He got me a pass to come and see the show, and that was that was the last time I got to see him. But I love that man. He was an amazing creature. He really was. He was.
Everybody I know who knew him, and I never had the pleasure. I lived in Rumson on Bellevue Avenue, so I lived right down the street from Bruce, and for quite a few years. My ex-girlfriend, she had a lot of fun bringing her kids to the Halloween parties way back in the day when have them at his house, and So it's a small world here in New Jersey, and of course, those two guys, they loom large, but there's so many great players in Asbury. And who are your favorites out there of all these people? I know you've got so many, it's too many to name, but I'm just curious.
I do have a lot. I'm a huge fan of Emily Grove, and I actually was on her first CD when she was like 18. And I followed her, and I've loved her. I got to open for her when she released a CD. I'm a huge fan of, even though they're mostly in Nashville, but Reagan Richards and now Gordon. Williams Honor is just phenomenal. Bobby Mahoney, I adore him. I think he's massively talented. And then like the icons like Karen Mansfield. And there's oh God, there are so many. I'm more in tune with like the newer ones than the older ones. Of course, it was back in the day I followed Joyful Noise around, which was Norman and Clarence. But I didn't get to Asbury when I was younger. It was like out of my driving range. So I followed bands like Good Ship and Gildersleeve, which was Louis Longo, Scott Payton, Linda Sharaba. And they were all the Upstage crew, and I was too young for Upstage, so it really pissed me off that I missed Woodstock because I was 12, and I missed Upstage.
Me too.
So they were all people that I met later, and got to play with like little Vinnie Roslin. So many. Cal Vetrain was my drummer for a long time. All these great people who are gone, It's really been amazing that I've had the opportunities I've had coming into this very late. I played as a kid, and then I got married young, had kids, and just fell out of everything until 92. And I started playing. So from 78 to 92, I was nowhere. and I was
Wow.
raising kids and doing
Sure.
what I thought that portion of my life was supposed to be about. And then I just
course.
missed it. I missed it so much. And they were getting older. And there was a great coffee house that opened in Red Bank called the Laughing Bean. It was short-lived. It was comedy and music. And it was right in the concourse next to Dublin House courtyard.
Okay.
And that's actually where I saw Norman the first time. And he had just lost his lead singer. And, the rest is history on that, because he heard me play and invited me to come to Briotti's when he was setting up for a gig and play a couple of songs. He's like, why don't you come back tonight and do them again? So,
Excellent.
I've been so damn lucky. It's amazing to me how things have happened. And I got into a pre-Broadway show that my dear friend George Severini wrote all the music for, wrote the screenplay for, or the script for, and we did a precast album. And again, somebody introduced me to him, and I auditioned, and I got into the project. So all of a sudden, people that I used to go and hear play music, like Scott Payton and Louis Longo, Maureen McCrink, I was obsessed with her when she sang.
She's great.
Well, she sang with George in a band called Good Ship in the 70s. And they played places like Barry's and Long Branch, which is now Casa Comita.
Okay.
So I used to follow them around. So all of a sudden, I'm invited onto this recording project for this show called Spirit. And I walk into the studio, and they're all there. And I my heart was in my throat. And Mary, Maureen's sister, Mary McCrink, another legend.
Right.
Mark Murphy on bass. I mean, it was incredible. Rick Brunemer on horn. So I walked into this like, blah, I didn't know what I was doing. And then I got into Holiday Express right away in '96. The minute I got
I love you guys. I've seen you so many times, and I've actually tried to get in, and it hasn't happened yet.
Why?
I'm going to keep reaching out. I
You
keep
gotta
telling
try.
Tinker I need to come down with him one of these days.
Oh,
I'd
no,
love to
you
be a
got
part
it.
of it. Such a great organization.
It is.
Everybody
It's-
doesn't know what it is. Tim McClune is a wonderful citizen of the world, and
Yep.
especially our part of it. He's just got it going on. He has his charity. They help disabled and handicapped adults hear the joy of music, which is just the greatest
And
thing on
at-risk
there.
adults and vets and
Yeah,
homeless soup kitchens, homeless shelters. We do it all.
exactly. I think it's just such a good thing. And, if that doesn't make you feel great, I actually look forward to Christmas just for that bit of it.
Me too.
COVID's just got such a mess going on.
I felt like I lost a limb this year. I just
Yes.
did not know what to do with myself. It was the most bizarre feeling. And we went into the warehouse in Eatontown and we recorded a CD of a show so that they could send the DVDs or the DVDs off to all the venues, which was 100, so that they could have music. And we still provided all the gifts and the food, and they had their holiday parties at their venues, but we weren't there live. So we all recorded this in very tight, weird conditions at the warehouse with all our masks on and limited mic space. We could only have one person on a mic. Usually we've got 3 and 4 on a mic. It's a party. So we all finished, it kind of felt like a dress rehearsal when we were in the middle of it. Like we usually do our practice. We do a couple of, run-throughs before the season starts. And all of a sudden we're all leaving and that's it. It's just, that was it for the whole season. That hour and a half or 2 hours that we were in the, and George McMorrow did
that's like the difference between perfume and cologne, for example. That is the real distilled rock and roll spirit. You gotta just. I
it was
like
hard.
working the
It was hard to
old-fashioned way.
translate it. It was
Right.
it was rough. But
It is-
at
it's
least we
difficult.
got to give our clients, that, which I got some feedback from friends of mine who, one of them has a daughter who's very severely disabled from birth, and she actually emailed me and she said, Ellie and I are watching it now, and she's blind. She's severely brain damaged. But she said she knows. I think she feels like she's in school because she's reacting to the music, and I was in tears. Like, thank God we got to do that. That's what these kids live for.
The power of music is amazing.
It's
And,
unbelievable.
I know myself, if it hadn't been for music, I probably would have died at some point. This music saved me, kept me alive, periods of life that were just pretty trying. You know, we all go through that stuff, divorce, breakups, makeups.
Yep.
Life kicks your ass, friends come and go. And then,
Yep.
but, you know, I never see people, if you go out and you play, everybody's smiling. As soon as you start playing something, people get happier.
Oh, yeah.
I very rarely, when a good band's playing, you don't see too many fights. It's like,
No.
you only see that when there's some awful jack band on and people are like, oh, this is awful, I don't like that guy, you know? But how about, what are you doing lately? You got some new material you're working on? Or
I am, actually. I think the only good thing about this pandemic is that it got me writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually just released a song that I kind of wrote for the pandemic called This Too Shall Pass.
Okay.
And I recorded it with my dear friend Kyle Ward, who's also my guitar player.
Right.
When I can get him. He's very popular. But he's got a new recording studio. He's doing production. He's a Berkeley grad. He's smart, young, got this great innovative sense. And he's working really hard at this new project to record with people. So I did that song. I got it out. It went out. It released on Halloween. And to date, I think it's up to 17,000 listeners. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I've heard the song, so
Streams.
will you be able to play that with us?
I could play that for you. Sure.
Let's get a nice start, you know?
Yeah, it's so that was I should retract. I've been working on my first EP with Michael Geegan for 4 years.
Oh man,
And
that's
I've got to get back in with him, but he started touring with Michael Jackson's band after he died, and he did 2 years with the Cirque du Soleil, and now he's been out with Roger Hodgson with Supertramp.
Well,
So I got 8 songs in his studio that are unfinished, which is killing me.
I bet.
Killing me. So I'm trying to get new stuff started, and I really need to get that finished before he goes out on the road again. I've just got to make myself get in there and do it. But it's good stuff, and I've got a kick-ass blues song that Matt O'Ree is on. He did 4 guitar tracks
Matt's
for me.
wonderful.
Paquidano's on it. Sam Sims. Michael's been playing a lot of the other instruments, which I kept saying, I got to get my own guys in here. People are going to think I don't have a musician friend in the world. But he's like, well, I like playing bass and I like doing this. And of course, he's playing the horns.
Right.
But I've really got to get it finished. It's very, people are mad at me at this point because I haven't finished stuff that I play out all the time. And they're like, why haven't you recorded that? I'm like, why? I kind of have. It's just not done.
It's not done. I have a similar song, which I've been working the same length of time, 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And it's a Leonard Cohen song called First We'll Take Manhattan. And it's a great, I think we did a great version of it. I mean, of course, we're always looking at our own stuff as so wonderful, but I keep my expectations low. But we work hard to make it sound good, and I've had some amazing guitar players from around the country and around the world on it. And right now, I have one punch-in to do of the vocal.
Oh, wow.
And we're done. I mean, we have all kinds of, I had, can't think of that, who sang with me.
So people have been recording this remotely with you during the pandemic? Or
it
live?
Started at a studio up in Hazlitt. The I don't even know what the place is called. I hate to say it. My keyboard player works there, so sorry, JR, I couldn't give you a good plug, but we've been doing it there at my home studio. We've been adding, and then I've had people doing it, via from Tampa and from Nashville. So I'm finally so close that we actually use it in the some of our bits here, like for lead-in music.
Oh, cool.
But it's never long enough to get where I just forgot the pickup. I sang it live in the studio in the control room with a 58. I had a Neumann set up. We had it all ready to track. We sat in this, and I went in with a click track and a piano player. We got that done. Then I played drums over that track. Then I came in and just started singing it. We added guitars, and it turned out really great. I had my accident, was out of commission for about a year.
Oh, right.
I was like 8-9 months I was missing in action. And, I'm back, I'm tan, fit, and ready for prime time mostly. I have some still issues physically. I'm not going to be like playing 8 hours of drums anytime soon or doing anything. But like being a drummer, we're kind of spaz guys, most of us. And I am so nuts after recovering for 9 months. After getting out of the hospital in September, about December, I was thinking, all right, next year is going to be 2020 is going to be good. And then COVID
Bam.
started. I was trying to finish that song, and I heard the term social distancing for the first time. We had just played, and I wanted to finish the song up. I had like a couple of guitar overdubs and shit. Well, I call my guys up, and they're like, "Oh, Neil, you want to die? We're socially distancing." And I was like, "Oh, forget about it. Come on down to the studio. We'll be 10 feet apart. Don't worry about it." They're like, "No, we ain't going anywhere." So that's it.
Wow.
And here we are. But I had the joke because I'm like you. I've had a bunch of things like that that are waiting to be finished. I haven't got the record even conceptualized, but I have a lot of tracks that we're working on.
Right.
So getting back though, I want to hear your song.
Oh, sure.
So let's turn the deck over to Pam here. We have a bunch of folks watching. Kathy Anderson, we're glad you're here. Pam,
Oh,
we
hey,
know
Kath.
Kathy.
Hi.
And let's see, we have Toby Simmons from LA. She's our LA girl on the street, and we love her. She brings us all kinds of cool people. And all right, everybody, so Pam McCoy.
All right, here we go. Let me get my pick. Where are you? All right. Not on my normal stool. Okay.
Okay.
Got a lot of questions. This could be a while. I'm feeling pretty restless, like a motherless child. Don't wanna lose perspective, let go of my mind. But something's gotta give for the answers I can't find. What's gonna happen now? These days are waiting for release, trying to figure out, not let it bring us to our knees. 'Cause we're only human, ways not always clear, deadlines and commitments, day in and year to year. So maybe if we pause, stand still and just be here, listen to our children, let go of all the fear. This too shall pass. Let the sunlight kiss your face. I wanna sing out loud so it feels like a warm embrace for anyone who's broken or needs someone to hold. No words need be spoken, just let the melody unfold. This too shall pass. Oh, this too shall pass. Who can tell the future? Go write it in the sky, so no one's left to wonder or have to reason why. We need a new direction, somewhere filled with hope, a deeper connection that makes us all feel strong. Danger's coming faster, just like a minute for a mile. But we can't lose the laughter or the pleasure in a smile, 'cause we're only human. The way's not always clear, deadlines and commitments, day in and year to year. So maybe if we pause, stand still and just be here, listen to our children, let go of all the fear. This too shall pass. Let the sunlight kiss your face. I'm gonna sing out loud so it feels like a warm embrace for anyone who's broken or needs someone to hold. No words need be spoken, just let the melody unfold. This too shall pass. too shall pass.
Man, that was great, Pam. What a nice song. Great.
you.
Just here we are early in the morning. You're jamming. You're in good voice. You sounded excellent.
Thank you. It's helped a lot of people, and I've had a lot of contacts through my music pages, Number One Music, and my Pam McCoy Sings page. People have written to me saying that they've lost somebody, or they had they've been suicidal or whatever. I've saved all these emails because I'm so blown away by the impact that it's had. And if that, I mean, that was my wish. I wrote it in a time when we were so anxious. It was March, we were into or April. We were into a couple of months of this lockdown, and I, along with everybody, we were like freaking out. I mean, we've lost our ability to go out and play music. We're stuck in the house. When are we getting out? So I had a lot of anxiety, and I thought, I've got to channel this. I got to write something. I got to write it down. And it just poured. It just poured out. And it's reached a lot of people, and it's touched them each individually and yet collectively for what we are going through. And that's my greatest wish. That's all I wanted from the project. So that's why I got it out fast.
And
Thank you. I'm really happy with it. The recording is beautiful. We Kyle and I did the whole thing ourselves, and I'm really happy with the finished product.
Well, when we post this show, would it be okay to use that at the top for the entrance music?
Oh my God, I would be honored. Yeah,
that would be really cool. And we're not even near the end. I got all kinds. I could talk to you all day. I'm
in. I'm dug in now.
It's great that our show is the same thing. Like, everybody was so bored. That's why I started the show. And
I think it's great.
It's gone way beyond just two iPhone and an iPad.
Yeah.
I
ended up going back into your archives and watching, because I'm ashamed to say I didn't even know you were doing this until you reached out to me. I don't know why, but I never saw anything about it.
It was by design. I wanted to make sure I had enough shows that it wasn't totally awful. And I didn't, I've talked to people. I don't have stage fright. I don't get starstruck or any of that crap. I've met all kinds of people. We all take, we all go to the men's room or ladies' room, and I don't take people too seriously.
Right.
I'm respectful of everybody, and I generally like people. So I don't usually meet people I don't like, and if I do, I don't see them for long. So it's,
Well, you're very engaging, so I'm sure everybody is having a good time. Whoever comes on, they're going to enjoy the whole thing.
We have had fun. Thank you. So. What do you think? Do you think next year we're going to be out touring in the summer?
God,
doing anything?
I freaking hope so. I have gotten some of my venues contacting me, which I'm so thrilled about, for summer schedules. So I'm praying with everything I have that we're going to get back to some normalcy. It's outside, so summer should be no problem. But what do we do now? I'm going nuts. I've had 2 gigs in the last 3 weeks. I'm bonkers when you get used to playing as much as we do.
Right.
It's my social outlet. I live by myself. My kids are all grown and out of the house. They've got their own families. So this is, a lot of my gigs are my social life too, which, I count on it. I need it. I need
me too.
I need the human contact.
Right. Well, just hanging out with our friends, it's so
it is. It's
rare.
It's never work. It's never ever been work. It's a party. Every time I go to my gigs, it's a party.
Exactly.
And I live for it, and I need it. We all need it. We're all social creatures.
Absolutely.
And especially, I think, as musicians, it's our life's blood. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning. Like, I got a gig. I'm going to prepare. I got to change my strings. I got to get my It's focus,
You're right, and I tend to the devil hands. I do my idle hands do the devil's work. It's just I'd be drinking and doing all kinds of craziness. I'm sober now for 3 years, which is a remarkably long time, and for me,
I went down that rabbit hole for a little bit. I was feeling sorry for myself by like May. I was, I was drinking wine every night. I don't drink at home alone. It's not something I enjoy. But I was doing it. And I
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, all right, that's enough of that. You
yeah.
got to smack
Me
yourself in
too.
the head and be like, hey,
I,
snap out of it.
It's funny, I have so many musicians over the decades I've played with that I've helped out. They're in my band or I was in a band with them, and I'd be like, come on, man, you're feeling bad, maybe you need to, tighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can never change somebody. They're going to do what they want unless they
Right.
want to change.
Yeah,
But
I've lost band members for too much of that, especially at a
yeah,
gig. It's
I know.
unprofessional.
It's just,
I'm a
it's
bad guy,
awful.
but I've let people go, and they're not too happy with me. But I can't have that when you're out producing a product, and it is a product, right? I mean,
Yes.
we are
It's a business. We are the
we are a
product.
brand. Each of us are a
Yes.
brand, and if that brand gets tarnished, nobody wants to hire us. And I had venues
No.
kind of saying, "Hey, we love you, but he's got a problem, or he's got to go, or whatever. He's sloppy."
Right.
And I was like, okay. And I've had to make some tough decisions as a band leader, and I don't like it.
I've been there, and
Or I've left bands.
It's tough to do that when you're
It is hard.
you're the leader of your band, and these are family members
Yeah,
after
they
a
are.
while, and
Yeah.
it's like having a family member who's really got a problem. And
Yep.
I
hate
don't
it.
look in the
I hate
toilet
that
much,
part.
but I look back and go, that was kind of ugly, and I was not the guy I like to be.
Right.
Thank God I'm still kicking in, and I have so much more. I have so much more going on now, and
Yeah.
new
Well,
friends,
that's good.
and I had to, get rid of a few people just in my life because
Sure.
my theory is if you hang around, like if you're an alcoholic and you hang around with other alcoholics, after a while, if you get sober, it's kind of uncomfortable for them. Like I can go to a party with people
I
who
see
drink,
that.
but they get a little uncomfortable because they might inside think, well, I may have a little problem, and it's just awkward having Neil here drinking. Because everybody who knows me knows I was just a party guy,
Right.
and for years I was the most functional drunk. I joke, I say I was a drunk and I went to function. That was pretty much it. I made a lot of money. I was in sales in New York City, so whining and dining people, the roosters, that's what you just do.
Yeah.
And I just eventually decided it was better, and I feel it's good. I suggest anybody out there to try it if you're feeling weird. Give it a shot. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody would have believed 3 years ago that I would just all of a sudden stop and actually
Wow.
stop. I'm sure a few people said, he's just a drunk. But, I was kind of the guy I'm like a Labrador retriever, too much energy and a tennis ball. You love him to death, but he keeps jumping just a little too much.
Right.
That was
Gotcha.
the kind of drunk I was. I met myself sober now, out watching a gig, and I was like, that's me, like 3 years ago.
Wow.
I was charming and fun to hang with, but after a while, it was just too much.
Yeah,
And
it's too
I
much.
know myself good. And I have much better friends now because they would actually tell me, you really don't need, you're sloppy, man. And I hate it, but it's good. And
Yeah, but sometimes
music,
it's all it takes is somebody to just be straight with you, just.
it is. And I'm lucky my girlfriend, I listened to her for a while, and we're still together after all this 6 years
Awesome.
now, and I'm thankful because, hell, you have to kiss a few frogs on the way to meeting a prince or princess.
Hell yeah.
I don't even want to open that door personally, but
Yeah,
I'm
that's,
lucky. It's kind of working out, So
Let's
what
just
else
put it
have you
this
got?
way. It gives me lots of ideas for songs.
Absolutely. My life is definitely the gristmill of songs and poetry that I might write on occasion. But I just love being in a band, like you said. It's camaraderie. It's hanging with your
Oh,
mates
yeah,
and,
it's the best.
and all your friends who come see you, and occasionally your musician friends show up, and it's just like it's a wonderful life.
It is. It's a great.
So
I know. I miss
tell
my
me,
guys. I miss my
Tell-
guys so much. I mean, when I say I've been out playing, I'm by myself.
Right.
Once in a while I'll grab Kyle or somebody on guitar, but
Right.
I mean, my dear friend Billy Pashota, who's my other guitar player, he's like more of my permanent one. He used to play with Beth Ann Clayton, and he's got Billy's Fault. He's a phenomenal musician, but both his parents died of COVID within days of each other
Jeez.
in the spring, and it's devastating. So how do you can't go out and risk your own health. He's got one daughter, and he's actually down in Florida with her and his two granddaughters indefinitely. He's like, I'm just out of here. He left day after Thanksgiving, and so he's just doing what he needs to do to heal.
Right.
And his parents were at all our gigs and dancing and happy and healthy, and so much fun
That's
and
just
so
brutal.
loving.
The hole in your life when
So,
you lose a parent is just unbelievable.
so
for
that was a
anybody.
big hit. You know, we've had a lot of, yeah, it's left a mark, this thing. It's
Oh yeah, our friend
sad.
Matt Cartsonis was on yesterday, and he played with Warren Zevon, and we were talking about Jorge Calderon. He lost his wife last year, and it's just like those were such good couples, so dynamic, and it's just like brutal. Nobody's heard from him in a while, and it's a bummer. I mean, how do you heal from that?
Yeah, I
You're
don't
never
know.
going to be the same. I always tell people
No.
if they're looking for closure, don't expect it because you're always going to have a little chunk. You know, my brother passed away of AIDS at a young age, and it blew me away. And I still, at times, you know, you're alone, and that thought will come into your head, and you go, "Gosh, I miss that person so much." And,
Yep.
this
And
year's seen
especially
too
with
much
this,
of
because
it.
we can't even properly celebrate their life. Like we're
Right.
not allowed to gather. You can't have a service. You
No
can't have a
funeral.
So it's just awful. Anyway, I
Well,
hope
you
we
know
get
what?
past
Let's
it.
get uplifting this crowd a little bit. We've been sad. It's time everybody walks.
I want to get down. I want to get down.
Hold on. Hey guys, we have somebody from oh man, Kat, we have a lot of folks who are talking about the loss. Kenny Martinez, man, I know you're watching. I'm so sorry you lost your mom, man. Kenny's a friend of mine from Florida. His mom just passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Oh God.
Guys, I'm sorry if I didn't mean to bum you all out here. It's just, this time we got to talk about some things a little bit. Here we're going to play some rock and roll. Pam's going to give us something cool to do, and I'll quit yakking for a while. Let's take it away, Pam.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. What do you want to do? What have you got?
I don't know. You want like gritty blues, or do you want? I'm working on my new one.
Let's play some of the new stuff. You've heard it here first.
This is you're gonna hear it here first. This is what I've got in the works now, and I'm gonna pull it up here because I keep changing it. But Kyle and I we've been working on this one. It's
Great.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Okay.
Night is done and I am tired. The crowd is gone. Look what the cat dragged in. How long's it been? I could tell you to the second. I won't let you have that win. I take a breath and then another. I need a drink to smother the feelings I can't hide. 'Cause you're the devil, so don't try to convince me. And you're back into my life. Oh, you talk about forever. Every moment we're together leaves me closer to the edge of no return. And I remember what it's like to lose myself in your eyes. Go back where you came from, walk out the door. There's nothing left of that girl. Maybe it'd be different if we were two people living in a perfect world. Seeing you now is so unexpected, and I'm trying to find my way. It's so confusing, and I'm too old for caring. You don't like what I say. Oh, you talk about forever. Every moment we're together takes me closer to the edge. The blow of a prize fighter couldn't have taken me harder to my knees. So go back where you came from, walk out that door. There's nothing left of that girl. Maybe it'd be different if we were two people living in a perfect world. Seeing you now is so unexpected, and I'm trying to find my way. It's so confusing, and I'm too old for caring. You don't like what I say. Oh, you talk about forever. Every moment we're together takes me closer to the edge, closer to the edge. No returning. I remember what it's like. Look into your eyes and lose myself again. Lose myself again. Lose myself, I won't lose myself again.
All right, Dan, that was nice.
I forgot a line, but that's okay.
I didn't notice, but I was
it's,
enjoying the hell out of it. You got some great lyrics, girl.
Thank you. Well, I've written poetry all my life, so once I figured out my hardest thing, I've got books of lyrics, books and books and books, notebooks, but I have a hard time getting the music. That's my last quotient of building the song with the tune. I can't. The melody is the hardest thing for me. But once I lock into something, like this one just wrote itself. I have a few of those like that. The one I played before, it just kind of just pours through you, you know?
Right.
But some of them are so hard. Oh my God, they're so hard.
Well, you know, that song, like the other one, I think it's obvious you write poetry because your lyrics are way better than a lot of them. I'm not, not kissing your butt, but I listen to a lot of music looking for people to have on the show. And it's a common thing that I hear in some of the younger bands. The English language has kind of been dumbed down over the past 30 years. But the quality of the meter, the cadence, the knowledge of, rhetoric and different constructs you can use to write a song or a poem, people don't really think about it that much.
That's true.
There was a study somebody at Berkeley did about people and the complexity of music over the past 100 years. And on every level, complexity of vocal arrangements, lyrics, tempo, it's so been dumbed down from even 40 years ago. And it's weird. A lot of old guys will say, oh, the kids, they're not doing shit, that's all crap. But there are kids coming up with new shit. I used to hate the EDM stuff. I just too, I don't want to dance all night on ecstasy, jumping around listening to that shit,
Yeah.
Not my thing. I guess I'm just too old for that. Well, I was always too old for that.
Yeah, me too.
That's not how we roll. I was always at a gig. Well, now my theory was all these apps and gear came out that you can use on an iPad. So these kids have access to it now for about 10, 15 years. When I first started buying apps for my keyboard, it was to get cheap B3 sounds or Roland. I have a bunch of synths that, while they're not perfect like the hardware, they're pretty close. If you're doing a demo, you've got trumpets when you need them.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to do it. And my theory was at first, I said, this shit's awful. But they'd only had these toys for like a year or two. They don't even have a musical vocabulary like we did. Right. We grew up playing songs and learning to sing. And there's even the math and the mentality of singing and remembering 60 songs.
Yeah.
People don't really understand what an artist goes through.
It's true.
But I theorized they didn't have time to get good. Like, we listened to Jimi Hendrix, if you're a guitar player. For years, you grew up and learn every lick. There was nobody for these kids to listen to.
I know.
So I've kept an open
It's
mind
sad.
towards
It's sad.
It is. But
they're listening
you
to
can
beats.
tell now, some of them are getting something out of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good musicality. It's not just all this noise and shit where I listen and I go, what is that? Some kind of boarding school art project? We had some, trippy chick who taught at Vassar and she's now, here and, she's just a little la-di-da, whatever. I jokingly say that because we've met, there's stereotypes that are out there. And
there's a lot of great songwriters out there that are young, up and coming though. I've been following, some of them on, I listen to 90.5 exclusively. So Rich and Jeff Raspy, Rich Robinson and Jeff Raspy, they're amazing at getting the new artists heard. And,
absolutely.
And there's a lot of really good stuff out there. And even the stuff out of Nashville. I'm addicted to Jason Isbell and Amanda Shires, his wife. His writing, I cover their stuff. Vampire is like one of the most exquisite songs I have ever heard.
Yep. And, absolutely.
And those are the songs that I want to learn and play and cover for other people. And that's what I aspire to be as a writer.
Right.
is to grab you, like just absolutely,
Right.
you know, in. So that's my
Your
thing.
lyrics, I'm not comparing you. You're far better looking than Lyle Lovett, and you write great poetry. And I just love Lyle to death, man. He's the man, the myth, the legend. His new record comes out, and every time he writes something, I like the old country that was, the old stuff. This crap they have on the radio now is like so insipid.
Yeah.
But you remind me, like, your lyrics, you have to listen to them. And if you do, I'm always listening to the lyrics and the voice and the whole package. But you definitely
Thank
you
you.
write
I really
great
appreciate
tunes.
that.
And,
Well, John Prine is a big influence too for writing. He can write a story that just you want to live in that story. You want to be there. And that's what I'm after. That's what I'm after.
Right.
So.
I'm trying to think. I had a guest on, and he used to tour with Townes Van Zandt. And he was with Townes on the last tour in Germany when Townes died.
Wow.
I'm having a brain fart here, but his name will pop in by the end of the conversation. So he was riding on the bus a lot with Townes when Townes wouldn't drive to the gig.
Okay.
And they got to be friends, so he could kind of calibrate Townes' alcohol consumption to make sure he was just buzzed enough to be good.
Oh my
But
God.
not so buzzed that he would kind of become the ugly American in Germany.
Wow.
And while they were rising, Townes looks at him and says, "You know what? When we get off this tour and we get back to Texas, I'm going to open up a donkey farm, and I want you to manage it." And my friend was like, "Well, that'll be fine, Townes. That sounds great." And I'm feeling so bad because, I'm just having a brain fart on his name. It's right there in the tip.
Oh, I hate that.
He wrote one of the best pop songs I've ever heard called River to River. It was back when power pop was all the rage in New York. He played in the bongos and that whole alternative scene.
Right.
Guy has just wrote the best pop 3-minute songs, like you'd think the Beatles or somebody. His name is George. I'm sorry, it's George. Shit.
Oh, look at you. You're going to get it.
It's like George.
It's right there,
George,
right?
come on, man. He's put your
hate
watch
that?
out there.
I
Type
hate
in,
that
you
so
idiot.
much.
It's George. It's not George Gould, the Warren Zevon manager, but it'll come to me. I'm on the cusp of victory here, But again, what you got any other songs? I just like listening to you play.
Yeah, I'll play.
You want to play another tune?
Sure, I'll play another one. I would love
Excellent.
to. So I'll play the blues one.
That sounds great.
This is like the culmination of, divorce and failed relationships and what ifs and all the stuff that you go through, at the death of multiple relationships, but
oh right.
Yeah.
Well,
this is the one that I got
songs.
Matt O'Ree he's on the album. And
Excellent.
I'm really I got to get this song released because it's
I can't wait to get Matt on. He's great. What a good player, man.
Yeah, I adore him. He was playing with me and Norman when he was like 21.
Right.
And, he played with us for a couple of years.
I want to tell you, a couple of guests commented on you. Toby from LA, our girl on the street, says you'd be great doing a collaboration with Jody Siegel. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. I'm not either, but I'll find out who it is from Toby.
Totally.
I'll get you a link.
Awesome.
Toby's great. She's like putting out her stuff on the street, so there's a lot of people, folks in Australia,
Nice.
New Zealand,
Hey,
watching you, and so we're getting you out there.
Cool. That's great. All right, so this one's called
Okay,
Let It
everybody,
Go.
Pam McCoy is singing some great songs about love and relationships and all that fun stuff.
All right, here we go. Another dark and dreary morning as I put the coffee on. This weather keeps me yawning, and I'm praying for some sun. seem to count for much that you still wanted to be friends. Tell my heart not to miss you, and tell my body not to yearn. All I want is just to kiss you and your love for me to burn. I'm haunted by your touch deep into my soul. What am I supposed to do when I can't let it go? Have you found another? These thoughts occupy my mind as I gaze out at the weather and fight these tears that blind me. 'Cause these days remind me of you, how we used to pass the time, make love beside the fire until the moon would shine. Tell my heart not to miss you, tell my body not to yearn. All I want is just to kiss you and your love for me to burn. I'm haunted by your touch deep into my soul. What am I supposed to do when I can't let it go? In the darkest hour, to reach for you to hold, learning to live without you is taking its toll. Love like I can fade out just as easily as it came. My heart can't understand, it still fans the flame. I tell my heart not to miss you, I tell my body not to yearn. All I want is just to kiss you and your love for me to burn. I'm haunted by your touch deep into my soul. What am I supposed to do when I can't let it go? When I can't let it go. When I can't let it go. You had everything you dreamed of, but in the end, you let me go. There we go. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted. There you
Thank
are.
you.
There you
Well,
are.
that was just an excellent tune. You know, you're just getting warmed up. I mean,
I know, I feel bad.
I'm sitting here going, you know, whether anybody's watching or not, I'm sitting here listening to some great ass music. I'm having a great time. I have a kid sitting across here, and I'm like just sitting here wanting to be like,
Oh, that would be
I'm just
fun.
like ready to pound the nail.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like I'm jonesing.
Yeah, we're
to
putting
play 'cause
big
I'm
drums on
watching
that
you.
song. Big drums. I haven't just.
Oh, that.
I've just got to get back in Geegan's house and get
Well,
this thing
that
done.
is an excellent song.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, that was every angst and upset and loss and everything that
but
gets
that's
you here.
such a cathartic song.
Very
I can hear
cathartic.
it when you're singing it. I mean, don't you feel better than when you got up this morning now?
Oh,
You're all
hell
juiced
yeah.
up? Shit, yeah. Come on live with me, people. You'll get pumped up. You'll be like
I
me.
could do this all day, man. I don't want to go.
Absolutely. I know. I don't want you to go. And I actually, I want
Well,
to
we'll
have
do it
you
again.
back regularly
again.
because I got
I-
a bunch more
I would-
songs I want to hear.
Absolutely. I'm happy to. Yeah, I'm
Well,
gonna.
excellent.
People have been pressuring me to go back on and do Facebook Live, so I'm gonna do something this weekend because I really miss playing. But Zuckerberg, he was threatening to pull everything down and shut us all down and all that bullshit.
As long as you're
and I see
doing-
people are still doing it, so screw it. I'm gonna.
You're doing originals.
I'm doing originals too, but I throw my covers in because I end up getting people, requesting. I'm watching like I actually it's a party for me, even though I'm talking to my phone.
Right.
That they all hang in there like conversing with me, and I talk to them and they write back.
Right.
So they want their requests. These are people that come and see me. They drive an hour and a half, from
Right.
North Jersey or somebody to come and see me live. So when I'm playing for them and I'm sitting in my studio downstairs, I'm going to give them what they want. If they want to hear a request,
Hell yeah.
sometimes I don't get to do that at a live gig. So,
Well, I'll when you
so I
put
play
your
covers too.
promotions- Okay, cool. Well, when you promote your show,
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you.
when I see you're promoting it, I'll put some spots on, because we love you and want you back.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to set my studio back up downstairs. It got dismantled. I had construction here all summer from a new kitchen.
Okay.
And I've got a lot of crap in there that
Well,
I've just been
if you
so
decide-
lazy about getting it cleared out and setting my music equipment back up in there. So
Right.
I will work
Well,
on
if you
that
ever need
today.
a hand wiring your studio or anything, I'll be glad to help you out.
I wish I
You're a
could.
pro.
I lug all my live equipment, my PA and everything in there and set it all up for each time. Sometimes I
gotcha.
leave it up. It's
Right,
not like I'm
right.
playing anywhere out now.
I know. I'm looking around my room. I've got, my PAs here and my drum kit. And it's like, gosh,
Yeah.
it has been so underutilized. It's my favorite room in the house.
Oh, I hate it. Yeah,
No.
I hate it. But
Pam,
this has been so much fun. I'm just looking at the clock. I have to go
Yeah,
get
we
my
have to roll
grandson.
out.
I have to go pick my
Yes.
grandson up at school.
He's such
I
a
have
cute
him-
kid.
I
have
have
to
him
tell you,
every
I'm a
day.
proud
Isn't he the
granddad,
best?
Too. He's so, I just want to give him a big hug.
He's a trip.
My granddaughter's the same way. She's got
How
my
old is your
heart.
granddaughter?
She's 3.
Oh,
and she
I
is
have two
just-
3-year-olds. Jillian has my 3-year-old grandson and a 1-year-old daughter, and then my middle son has a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old daughter, and then my youngest son has Joel, who everybody knows. Joel's like a
Yeah,
Facebook.
Joel is good.
He's a Facebook
good-looking-
legend.
A fine
He's-
young cannibal.
He's a trip, and I have him every day. So
Excellent.
he's like my own. But so he's 8. He's in 3rd grade. But he's only in half
Excellent.
day at Rumson, so I got to go get him, and I keep him here and feed him and does his homework, and we hang out. But I'm teaching him ukulele. He's a Beatles prodigy. He knows more Beatles songs than I do. I got him a karaoke machine for
Wow.
Christmas, and I've been
Oh, that is
ordering all the
brilliant.
I've been ordering all the CDGs that have the lyrics on them for his little machine. So a bunch of them came yesterday.
Excellent.
And so he loves to sing. He's got that microphone, man. He's going to be out there.
Excellent.
We're going to have a little band.
I can't wait to hear him. My grandson plays cello and upright bass. And,
Wow.
he's so talented, and I just love him. Alan,
Wow.
you're in Florida. I'm here. Pop loves you to death and can't wait to give you a big hug.
Yeah,
My
I'm
daughters
really
are all
lucky to
down
have
there,
mine
my
close.
parents, and COVID's, of course, I'll
God,
be down
I
as soon as I can, people. I'm supposed to be in Nashville in April. And
Nice.
I got as far as Nashville. I think I'm just going to drive over, head on down
Yeah,
to
why
Florida the next
not?
day,
Why not?
But,
I hope you do.
Okay, so everybody's
thank
been
you.
watching.
Thanks for
Pam,
having me. Thanks everybody for watching. This was a
Anytime.
gas.
It was a gas.
I had a great time. I'm glad-
I would have called you sooner. You're great fun.
Thank you. Thanks. I
Okay,
appreciate it. And
well,
I'm just
bye-bye,
bummed
everybody.
that Julie couldn't be on with us. She was
I know. I'm bummed. Julie, I'm sure, is sorting through the technical rubble here, trying to figure out what's going on. She's the best. Everybody who doesn't see Julie today, Julie will be on today. We're back on at 1 o'clock, and we'll have. I gotta look at the sheet. Julie hasn't. I can't find my sheet. We have someone on at 2 o'clock. I'll be back.
You got
on
Norman
and let
on,
you know.
right? You have Norman.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I have Norman on at 4.
Oh, at 4. Okay.
Yeah. And for everybody watching, Norm is one of a kind, hand-carved piano player.
Oh my God, yes.
If you want to have a fun guy, he's the only guy I know has better shirts than I do.
Yes, he does. And that's hard to do.
It is. Norm's got the shit. He knows he knows how to dress, man. I like these shirts myself, and I always joke with him. I'm like, hey, you got the bling going on there.
Yeah, he does. He's got the bolos and the well, that's Jamie. That's Jamie. She's a Mississippi girl, his wife. So she's been hooking him up with that stuff since they met.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, say goodbye to Pam, and we'll have you back soon.
Okay.
Love you. Take care.
Take care, Neil. Stay
Alrighty,
well.
Bye-bye. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and try and see if this works.
Live with Neve, Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Questions, comments, click on the chat box.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve, Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
All right. Bye-bye. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. We'll be back. It's 12:40 Eastern. For all of our folks out in Radio Land, we'll talk to you soon.